The path properties allow us to review and or edit the swept properties and settings that we use to initially sketch the swept path. In the project example, I will review path nodes, surfaces, vehicle details, maneuvers, and the reports used to display features within my swept path. To access the swept path properties, I can go to the review panel and select properties. It will prompt me at the command line to select the swept path, which I will do with my aperture box. Inside of the properties dialog box, I can specify any path nodes that I have for my project. I'm going to specify a title for this project and I'm going to call it service delivery route. I'm also going to specify a comment here identifying the vehicle that I used in my analysis. Next, I can go to surfaces tab. Here I can change the final surface that was I would like to use to drape my swept path. If I selected the wrong surface originally, I can come back and select another Civil 3D surface from my drawing file. And then I can also choose whether or not I want to project my swept path onto a surface. Next, I can go over to the vehicle option. Inside here, I can review the details of the vehicle that I used in my swept path. Here I can look at it by name, or if I select the components or the units with inside of my vehicle, I can view a few of the details. Now I can't edit things here, but I can least look at the information and see what was copied down from the vehicle library. Next, I can move on to the maneuvers. These are all the maneuvers that I made inside of the swept path. Each one of the maneuvers is tracking a particular movement. In this case here, if I need to make an edit to one of the maneuvers inside of my swept path, I can highlight the item here and click on edit. Inside the dialog box, I can provide general information about this maneuver. I can go to the model tab and I can even tell it to override one of the options that I might use in a swept path. If you remember back to my design, I did not have any limit in my steering. But if I toggle on this option and select OK, you will see here some adjustments are made to my swept path. It will mark here inside of the drawing file where that maneuver was changed. It will mark it with a circle X and will also note if inside of the dialog box. So if I make an edit, I can do it right inside of the maneuvers. If I want to remove it, I can also hit the delete option and it will take it out of my swept path. The last option that we can change inside of the properties are the report settings. The report setting determine what is visible inside of my drawing file in my swept path. In my example here, you will notice that I have only two primary categories that have visibility elements turned on. I have construction lines and then I also have one of the four default ports visible. This is report 0001 body and chassis envelopes, and underneath these are some reports that are visible. I'm showing the body outline, chassis outline, and some of my annotations. If I want to turn off these items, I can simply click uncheck them and I can hit OK. It will regen in my graphics and I can see those items were removed. If I want those items visible, I can go back into the properties, select the reports tab, and then turn those items back on. If an item is turned on and it's visible, I can go further into the CAD settings by clicking the edit option. Here it will go in and allow me to change some of the attributes that are used for that component. So if I want to change the visibility of anything in my swept path, I can go into the properties. Another tool that we can use is right up here on the review panel. It's called Drawing Explorer. Inside of the Drawing Explorer, it will show us some of the default settings that are used on my system and then the default settings that are used for my current drawing file. If I look down below, I can see some of my path settings. Once again, here are some of the report settings that I just showed you a moment ago. Here, if I want to turn off an item, I can just uncheck it. And inside of the dialog box, I can just hit redraw and I can see what that changes does to my graphics. If I want them back on, I can just click the check mark and hit redraw. If you're not sure what something is highlighted here, and maybe turn it off by unchecking it. Use the redraw and now can see inside of my drawing file those drag lines where I can turn them back on to make them visible. Same thing applies to any of the target points if you want to turn those off as well. Just simply click on it and then hit the redraw option. Now that I'm done playing around with my vehicle tracking properties, I'm going to go ahead and close out my drawing file.